Elon Musk's Starship might be the largest flying machine in human history, but the most terrifying part of SpaceX's operation isn't the rocket itself. It is a sleeping, volatile monster waiting on the ground, holding millions of pounds of a substance so aggressively reactive that a single drop of grease on a worker's glove could trigger a catastrophic explosion without a single spark. Here at Astro Trivia, we look past the exhaust flames and PR stunts to decode the brutal, unforgiving engineering of deep space exploration. Today, we are tearing apart the invisible infrastructure that makes humanity's multi-planetary future possible. And when you're dealing with one of the largest rockets ever built, Starship, the scale of everything changes. A fully stacked Starship requires truly staggering amounts of propellant to break free from Earth's gravity. We are talking about the massive ground systems that store, manage, and transfer immense quantities of fuel and liquid oxygen for the world's most powerful rocket. Without it, Starship launches simply would not be possible. Starship uses methane as fuel and liquid oxygen as its oxidizer, a propellant combination known as methylox. Both substances must be stored at extremely low temperatures to remain in liquid form. We're looking at approximately minus 162 degrees Celsius for methane and minus 183 degrees Celsius for oxygen. The tank farm stores these cryogenic liquids in large insulated tanks before they are rapidly transferred into the vehicle during the countdown. In many ways, the tank farm truly acts as the heart of the launch site, connecting to nearly every major system. But here's the dark truth that makes this operation genuinely terrifying. Liquid oxygen does not burn on its own, but it is one of the most ruthless oxidizers in the known universe. If highly pressurized liquid oxygen leaks and comes into contact with virtually any organic material, even the asphalt on the ground or a stray fingerprint on a steel pipe, the friction of the fluid alone can cause spontaneous combustion. No ignition source, no spark, just an instant, devastating chain reaction. To feed the world's most powerful rocket, SpaceX had to build a facility capable of controlling a chemical nightmare. And as SpaceX pushes toward launching Starship more and more frequently, potentially even every single day, how do you build an infrastructure capable of keeping up? The answer lies in a sprawling, reinforced circulatory system. Propellant flows through complex piping networks to the booster quick disconnect located on the orbital launch mount, which fuels the Super Heavy, and to the ship quick disconnect located on the launch tower, which fuels the upper stage. The coordination required between storage tanks, pumps, subcoolers, and quick disconnect systems is immense. But you cannot simply open a valve and let sub-zero liquid rip through ambient temperature steel. Here is where physics becomes your worst enemy. If you pump liquid oxygen at minus 183 degrees Celsius into a pipe baking in the South Texas sun, it boils instantly. This creates a violent vapor barrier against the pipe walls, an engineering nightmare known as the Leidenfrost effect. This expanding gas blocks the flow of liquid and causes massive pressure spikes that can literally tear steel pipes apart from the inside. To prevent this catastrophic failure, SpaceX engineers must perform a massive chill-down sequence. They flush the entire system with liquid nitrogen first, artificially freezing the miles of plumbing before a single drop of liquid oxygen is allowed to flow. And the infrastructure holding these volatile chemicals has had to adapt brutally to survive. Back in 2021, SpaceX constructed large vertical cryogenic storage tanks using modified Starship tank sections. They were built fast, but the first integrated Starship launch proved just how violent this environment really is. Engine shockwaves and flying concrete debris caused severe damage to the outer shells of those vertical structures. Elon Musk later confirmed that the vertical tanks would eventually be replaced with horizontal storage tanks. Lower to the ground, heavier,
built to survive the localized apocalypse happening just a few hundred feet away. But surviving the brute force of 33 Raptor engines requires more than just reinforced steel. It requires an ocean. Enter the Starbase Deluge system. Pad 1 features the original showerhead deluge system installed in mid-2023, directing high-pressure water upward through a steel plate beneath the launch mount to suppress acoustic energy and reduce damage from engine exhaust. Pad 2, however, represents a far more advanced approach, incorporating a massive flame trench and a ramp-style flame deflector. Even more impressively, Pad 2 includes an innovative water recycling sump system built directly into the flame trench. This system collects water after ignition and channels it back into storage tanks, reducing the need for constant water deliveries by truck. Together, the tank farm and these aggressive deluge systems form the hidden infrastructure backbone of Starbase. While rockets may steal the spotlight, it is this vast network of cryogenic storage, pumps, plumbing, and water management systems that enable Starship to stand fueled and ready. They have built a mechanical fortress capable of surviving the launch. But engineering the launch pad is only half the battle. If SpaceX actually wants to achieve their ultimate goal of flying this behemoth multiple times a day, they face a completely different, almost unsolvable nightmare. A logistics bottleneck so severe, it threatens to permanently ground the entire Mars program before it even leaves South Texas. Elon Musk has repeatedly said that Starship is designed for daily launches and eventually even multiple launches per day. Last year, the Federal Aviation Administration gave SpaceX approval to conduct up to 25 Starship launches per year from South Texas. But right now, a single fully fueled Starship requires enormous quantities of liquid methane, liquid oxygen, and liquid nitrogen. Supplying those volumes currently takes more than 200 tanker truck deliveries per launch. These trucks must travel from industrial facilities located far from Boca Chica, creating heavy traffic, high costs, scheduling challenges, and environmental strain. For early test campaigns and a limited number of launches per year, that system works, but it becomes increasingly impractical as SpaceX pushes toward a much higher launch cadence. Scaling that model to dozens or hundreds of launches per year would be extremely inefficient. It is a physical impossibility. SpaceX clearly recognizes this limitation. The solution is to produce key propellants directly on site. To address the oxygen and nitrogen side of the equation, SpaceX is building its own air separation unit, ASU, at Starbase. An ASU is essentially a large industrial plant that extracts and liquefies gases directly from the atmosphere. Instead of trucking in vast quantities of liquid oxygen and nitrogen, SpaceX will manufacture them at the launch complex itself. The process behind the ASU is based on established industrial technology. Air, made up primarily of nitrogen and oxygen, is drawn in and compressed. The compressed air is then cooled to extremely low temperatures until it liquefies. Because nitrogen and oxygen boil at slightly different temperatures, they can be separated through fractional distillation. The oxygen is liquefied into LOX for rocket fueling. The nitrogen is also liquefied and used for tank conditioning, purging lines, pressure testing, and other ground support functions. But you do not just connect a massive industrial gas plant to a rocket and turn the valve. This is where the terrifying reality of liquid oxygen returns. Before the ASU can pump a single drop of LOX into the tank farm, every inch of those miles of newly constructed piping must undergo a rigorous procedure known as oxygen safety cleaning. Construction crews must flush the entire network with specialized chemical solvents, meticulously scrubbing away microscopic contaminants. Engineers then inspect the interior of the pipes using ultraviolet light. Why go to such extreme lengths? Because under the immense pressure of a fueling sequence, a single speck of dust coated in a microscopic layer of hydrocarbon oil becomes a high explosive detonator. If pressurized liquid oxygen hits that speck, the sheer fluid friction ignites the oil. The pure oxygen instantly feeds the fire, and the heavy steel pipeline literally burns like a fuse, threatening to vaporize the entire launch pad. Precision here is absolutely a matter of life and death. The construction timeline for the ASU is estimated at roughly 8 to 12 months from groundbreaking, meaning it could become operational sometime in 2026. Once online, it will significantly reduce the number of tanker trucks required per launch, easing one of the most visible logistical constraints at Starbase. However, the ASU only solves part of the problem. Starship's Raptor engines burn liquid methane alongside liquid oxygen, and methane cannot be extracted from air. So how exactly does SpaceX plan to mass-produce the fuel for the other half of the world's biggest rocket without relying on endless fleets of trucks? The answer is hiding in plain sight, and it proves that Elon Musk is not just building a launch pad, he is building a functional prototype for another planet.
Starship's Raptor engines burn liquid methane alongside liquid oxygen, and unlike oxygen, methane cannot simply be extracted from the Texas air. To address this, SpaceX plans to build massive liquid natural gas liquefaction facilities directly at Starbase. These plants will convert piped natural gas into high-purity liquid methane suitable for rocket propulsion. Older vertical methane tanks are already being ripped out and replaced with larger, heavily reinforced horizontal tanks. Once installed, these new tanks will hold enough methane for approximately 2.5 full Starship launches. By pushing the methane tank farm further away from the liquid oxygen and nitrogen systems, they are improving safety through sheer physical separation, mitigating the risk of fuel and oxidizer ever meeting outside of a combustion chamber. Soon, instead of depending on hundreds of tanker trucks per launch, Starbase will function as a fully vertically integrated spaceport capable of producing, storing, and rapidly loading its own propellant supply. But this massive industrial overhaul is not just about local logistics. Starbase is not merely a launch pad, it is a full-scale, functioning prototype for the Martian surface. To survive on Mars, humanity must master in-situ resource utilization, using local ice and atmospheric carbon dioxide in a chemical process called the Sabatier reaction, to synthesize the exact same liquid oxygen and methane that Starship burns. If SpaceX cannot perfectly automate and safeguard the production of millions of pounds of highly explosive cryogenic propellant here on Earth in a controlled environment, the dream of a self-sustaining city on Mars will die before it ever begins. We have spent this entire video looking at pipes, pumps, and sub-zero liquids, but what we are really witnessing is the brutal, unforgiving blueprint for interplanetary survival. The steel machines standing on the South Texas coast are the mechanical ancestors of the very structures we will one day build on another world. If you want to keep peeling back the public relations layers and uncovering the raw, unfiltered engineering that is actively rewriting human history, join our crew here at Astro Trivia. Hit the subscribe button and become part of a community that demands the scientific truth behind the headlines. So, looking at the sheer terrifying scale and the constant threat of a catastrophic explosion just to get one single ship off the ground, I have to ask you, do you actually believe Elon Musk can pull off a fully automated, robotic version of this massive chemical plant on the freezing, dead surface of Mars? Or is the dream of a Martian city an absolute logistical impossibility? Let me know your verdict down in the comments.